Hello, good morning, garden friends. I'm David Savio. Welcome back to the Yarden. Just thought I'd get out this morning and take a quick stroll around the back garden close to the house. Expecting a pretty hot day today, so I figured might as well make the most of a cool morning. We'll take a quick stroll through here and see what's happening. Well, behind me, which you can see, it's a rhododendron. This is a beautiful plant. I'll turn around a minute and get a little better close-up of it. But it's fully in bloom now, loaded like I haven't seen in a couple of seasons. This is really beautiful. Wow, this is stunning. I believe it is called Krushki. A little bit of construction going on next door. Neighbors are having a garage built, so there's going to be some background noise along with the road that runs behind here, but not going to ruin this. Back up, see. So if I could share a story with you about this rhododendron, I'm sure many of you have stories about certain plants and aspects of your garden that are interesting or possibly even impart some knowledge, and this is one of those. I had planted this, like I said, early in my gardening venture back in the early 2000s, not too long after we bought the home, and it grew well, tripled in size over about 3 or 4 years, but it wouldn't bloom. And I thought, well, gardening does teach us patience. I tell everyone that all the time. But, patience runs thin. And again, it's a beautiful plant. Leaves are great, but this is a plant known for these gorgeous blooms. And I was visiting a friend, Erin Weston, and anyone who knows her father, Noel, he was quite the plantsman. We were just chatting. I was listening to him talk about tons of random plant stuff, which was amazing, and I just started lamenting a little bit about how I had this rhododendron I had planted, and for years it was growing fine, but it wouldn't bloom. And he just throws out there, he goes, throw pine bark underneath there. I said, pine bark? He said, throw some pine bark under there. So that's easy enough. I went and bought a couple of bags of pine bark at the big box store, Lowe's or whatever nearby. And lo and behold, it bloomed. It has bloomed ever since. So little gardening wisdom there that, if I can pass it along. I have a few more that I've planted up in the woods that I don't know what the issue is with those. It could be that it's dry. I mean, they're growing well, but they haven't bloomed. You know what I'm gonna do? Wow, it's loaded this year. Oh my goodness. Daphne there is quite impressive too. Never gotten it to bloom, but it's okay. Looks good. But next to that we have Acer Pomatum Orangiola, starting to darken a little bit for summer. It's a wonderful Japanese maple to have, though. And the Pinkster Azalea next to it, which is blooms are spent. That was enjoyable a few weeks ago. I have this Kusa dogwood here. There's a couple little blooms there. Not near as exciting as last season. Maybe the rhododendron took all the energy from this area. Oh, look at this. This is unexpected, certainly exciting. This is a canthus, and it looks like it's going to bloom this year, which is really kind of rare. It hasn't bloomed in a few years, and I do enjoy this plant, these sort of Jurassic type leaves. And I don't know what it takes for this thing to bloom. I once thought, well, it was going to be because of a good moist winter. Because I'll be honest, I think it might have been 2018 the last time it bloomed. But this wasn't a particularly wet winter, so I don't know what necessarily stimulates it. But this, I am very, very excited about. We will come back to this maybe in maybe a week as he starts open. Get a little hint of it there. And what is nice is when this does bloom, this bloom lasts for several weeks, for quite an extended display of enjoyment. Oh, that's fun. Oh, and here is a bird bath that never really served well as a bird bath. So I converted it last year into another little bog garden. It was generally too deep for the birds. They never could sit in it. You want to put a stone to sort of create a shallows. Plus it would rust a little bit, the water went bad, so just got creative and made a nice little bog garden. Venus flytraps, another one recovering there. That was when I moved from another one that was starting to get smothered. A little June bug, Sarracenia, a couple of blooms. Another one of these fun little gardens within the garden. A little scene in a bowl. Every year I get this incredible fern border here. I'll have tucked this variegated hydrangea in. I'm drawing a blank on the name at the moment. I just put it in last year. I rescued it from a buddy's nursery. Oh, but there is a bloom coming. So that makes me happy. But just beautiful leaf. I do a lot of variegated plants in this corner. Just kind of lightens it up, because outside of these few moments where you see this splash of sun, this will be dark most of the day, just because it's at the base of this hill and facing north. Daphne Rebecca. That's Acer Pomatum, Rosea marginatum, which sits under this big, beautiful Acer Pomatum Siriu. Some of this, I believe, a Chinese sedum starting to bloom. All nice little things that brighten this fairly shady corner. Cuba limbata, beautiful new growth. Little Heath Pieris, again that variegation to light it up under here. Sort of a nice way to artificially brighten a shady corner. And so years ago, to help mitigate some water flow, because it does come through here during heavy rains, we built this little retaining wall. And then let the plants on their own pretty much softened it up. I mean, this row of Japanese painted ferns, well actually there's a few more mixed in there now, and possibly even some, oh wow, look at that. I'm sure some little garden frolicking where maybe get some new little hybrid type ferns in here, but just beautiful. Really softens the wall. I didn't really want to see the blocks anyway. Little striata still in bloom. These have been going for a very long time this year. I am very happy about this. I typically don't get the blooms because of late frost, because they push so early. Oh, here's a newer one coming in that is pink. Yokohama, I believe. Oh, well, that makes me happy. Alexander Great Brunera. I like it. I'll be honest with you, it's never been that great. This is Honshu Mint. I picked this up years ago, stuck it back in the woods. It quickly started to retreat. I think it was a little too dry. So I saved the last few sprigs, and I've been growing it in pots ever since. And I keep moving little bits of it to other ones. Just an adorable little plant. I mean, I would love to have this scramble along the ground somewhere in a large mass, but I haven't gotten confident enough yet to pick a new spot. Although this one may work, but I have my native partridge berry creeping under here as well. These little dwarf Solomon seal. And a little collection of maples here too. Orange Dream, Kamagata, which wonderful texture. Almost feathery. Cigar Nishiki, which, let's see, we'll get this yellow variegation on new growth. Snow Fever Hellebore. This is one of the Satsuki azaleas. This is Tamanohata. It's nice because it blooms later than some of the more traditional ones, so you get a whole nother round of blooms in these gorgeous big open faces. Streaked with pink, edged with white. It just slowly creeps around. This is Acer Pomanosumaki, one of my favorite spring Japanese maples. Emergence is very chartreuse leaves with red tips. It's starting to fade now as we get a little closer to summer. Darkens for the warmer season. So here we go, the Acanthus Malus. I told you it'd be a few days, and you can see these spikes of blooms starting to open up. That's amazing, especially because it does it so rarely for me. I mentioned earlier it's been a few years. I'm not sure what triggers this. Doesn't matter, got it this year. It's really enjoyable. Looks pretty nice in this light too. It's twilight now, sun will be down in a few moments, but this just caught my eye. Figured I'd share it real quick. I mean, that's just so cool. Look how tall one there. And this will be a display for several weeks. No complaints. Thank you for coming along again. I know we only got to a few plants. There's plenty out here. Admittedly, I was a little distracted with the Rhododendron and the Acanthus, a very pleasant surprise. But also, I was trying to keep the video a little bit shorter. I know my first one was kind of long. In the future, I hope that they'll be a little smaller, shorter, a little more easily digestible. I know there's plenty of other gardens you want to see. And sorry, I was distracted by the birds. And if any of you are going to be in the area this weekend, please come out to Brie Arthur's open garden on Saturday from 12 to 4. She's got beautiful gardens with a wonderful mission. I'll be there myself helping out, so I'd love to see you, talk a little bit. And so if you've got the time, please come out and visit. Otherwise, until next time, I'll see you in the Yarden.